Okay, so boom, y'all already know what time it is. You are now tuned in with your guy, Big Joe and Lil Joe. And I've been getting a lot of requests, you know what I'm saying? I've been doing a lot of stories here recently, you know what I'm saying, about me and my pops. And oh yeah, commercial break me one time for the one time real quick, please. If you ain't already tuned in to my daddy podcast on his YouTube, go check that out. Pops have got YouTube, have got monetized for anybody who been asking, you know what I'm saying, how can they help, you know what I'm saying, and contribute, you know what I'm saying, to make sure he can kind of take care of himself while he in there. All you gotta go do is, if you like my story times, you gonna like his. Listen to me. He been. Listen, I'm 35. He been gone 30 plus years. So he got way more stories than me. So if you want to go hear some prison stories, you know what I'm saying? Just go to his. It's doing time with Joe. It's DOIN time with Joe, and I'm gonna put it in the description. If you don't know what the description is, when you see the hashtags, you're gonna see 3 dots, which are gonna unfold and give you what they call see more details. And then you could just go right there and you will see, you know what I'm saying, the link to his page, you know what I'm saying, if you want to go check out Pop's page. Pops, you got anything you want to say real quick?
Man, look here, I just want to tell everybody, man, how much I appreciate them, like always, man, helping me get to this point, man. I really do. I really do.
That what's up, man.
Let's get to it, though.
I wish I could remember the username on here. He gonna know who I'm talking about. He was saying, you know, he want to hear your side of the story about a lot of stuff. Because I done told these people, Pops, you know, that I think you try to treat me like I was your little flunky around there. You know, I think he, and I think he was just enjoying being able to say, you know, hey son, do this and do that, and you know, we was in
exactly.
Yeah.
It wasn't like using you or nothing, but then I guess you could look at it like that and say I was, because you know certain things that I wouldn't want you to do, and then I thought I was protecting you in a lot of ways, right? But you know, I didn't get to do none of the fatherly stuff, man. And even though that was twisted what we were doing, right?
Yeah.
I looked at it like that's me being Pops, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Go do this for me, go do that for me,
Yeah, because he showed you to get the dope, run down there and get that for me. Oh, they just called us for the mail. Go down there and get the mail and
yeah, do that. That's what you're supposed to do.
You know, I just tell him, you know, I just had to tell him all the time, man, listen to me, Pops. I understand, but penitentiary rules in effect, you know. You can't be telling me that. Well, look, so I was telling the story the other day about that time, for some reason, you and Tiny thought it was a good idea to put them phones outside, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. I do want to ask, like, because I don't think I never asked you, had you ever did that before? What made you think it was a good idea to put them phones outside anyway? One of the phones.
Because, man, real talk, because I had heard some other people talking about spots they had outside. They're hustling, really, and I'm like, man, that is slick, though, because if they hit the building, they can't find us. You know, find nothing inside, it's going to be outside. So, yeah, I was just thinking on that level, man. Now, that's what made me do it, man. Because everybody else that I had do was doing it, they getting by. Because I'm like, how are they getting by, man? How are they getting by?
And I get to ask this question right here because when Tiny came in the cell and said what he said, the first thing I said, no. I was like, you can send your phone. You was like, nah, we're going to send both of them. Because you already convinced me to come out here to get this phone, and you still seem like you were lording over the phone. Nah, we're going to send both of them up there. Like, why you just didn't send your phone? Because the phone was never mine. Let me answer for you.
What? No, it wasn't ever your phone. It wasn't ever your phone. But see, the thing is, man, you know, you still gonna be able to use the ones that I had, but you know, what's mine is yours. You know, as long as I can control it.
So I was telling them at the time, I couldn't remember exactly where, you know, Baby was working at the time, but I know I was telling them, you know, when the phones came up missing, you know, I'm mad, you know what I'm saying, because we done had to use, you know what I'm saying, because that's, I don't remember exactly where Aaron worked at, you know what I'm saying, he was a rock man outside, wherever he put the phones or whatever, but I do remember us using. You said, where she worked at? Where was that at the time?
She worked at Sprint at the time.
Yeah, she was at Sprint. I was thinking it was Verizon, because I remember, you know, we was able to somehow connect and find out, you know, what the new number was to the phone by getting, what was it that we did?
It's like the serial number.
Yeah.
She had a way that she could trace through that serial number and figure out, you know what I'm saying, the new number and all this and that, right? Because that's how you, after she got that information, that's how you was able to send out that that ghost text trying to bait them in, right? What did you tell them? You said something about some tobacco. You want to buy some tobacco or something like that?
Yeah, that's what I was telling them in the story. I remember, once we got the new number, you know what I'm saying? Because I'm guessing, they called and had the numbers changed. 'Cause these is real penitentiary games. People don't think this much really goes on in prison. These folks done found these phones, got the serial numbers, somehow probably called and said they was locked out of the phones, got the number changed, changed the information. Had Baby not had the serial number, we would have never been able to track down how we track down, the phone.
Yeah,
and
so that was one of the things that she always said, give me them serial numbers.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So if anything happened, I'm glad she did that. But go ahead though.
And then it's another thing, and then the connections in the penitentiary, like how stuff just moved, how it went from, because they was here, they ended up on the top of the hill. We're on the bottom of the hill.
Yeah,
and we had to use somebody else's phone and get somebody else on the phone up there to try to figure out this and then figure out that. And then the dummy text was, because I think they was either Aryan Nation or Brotherhood, who ended up with the phone. Yeah. And I remember sending the text. I might have left this part out of the story. I remember sending the text almost trying to talk like, hey brother type of situation. Like, you know what I'm saying? I think I used one of the Aryan Nation names down on the bottom of the hill too. Like, this is such and such, you know what I'm saying? I'm trying to get some brown. And the person ended up.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, and the person ended up responding back to the phone. And at that point, from the phone, and at that point, you locked in. I remember you, when they finally called, you gonna snap the phone. Give me the phone. Hey, this is this. And I was telling them, I was like, about time Big Joe done activated, because you've been too cool about this situation.
No, I was in panic mode, man, because that's the line of communication, right? But I wanted them to understand, right? Keep playing about these phones and it's going to go there. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because in here, man, look, you can lean back long because everything's running good, but as soon as something go bad, and they see how you respond, if you respond in a soft way, they got the phones. The next thing they would have came and took the plug. You feel what I'm saying? So,
exactly.
Hard at that point.
Right, exactly. They sent it. They hurry up sent it down there.
They better have sent it down there. There's going to be consequences for that, though.
They hurry up and sent that phone down there, man. But while we talking about this, man, we talk about it quite often without recording. You know what I'm saying? I'm glad we're recording.
Yeah.
Do you ever just sit and think about how much stuff we actually did in that short period of time in that cell like that?
Look here, man. Yeah, I look at all of that, man. We did a whole lot real fast, man. Even though, it was on shice what we was up to, but we were getting money.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And, we were getting money and all this and that, right? But, we did a whole lot of stuff, man. A whole lot of stuff. Yeah. I'm talking about people. I really don't think people could really understand how much we were moving through that. You know what I'm saying? And the things that we had to do to move things through that. I'm talking about major amounts of stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Major amounts. And then, look, you know what sometimes I think about?
What's that?
How man, I used to be laying in the room, right? I'm laying in the bed. The door, the police can come by and look in there whenever the violation went up. And I didn't even care. I would just be laying back in the bed with my legs up. You know how you laying in the bed, you got your feet up?
Yep.
And to block it. Yep. Just laying there. The police would walk by. I'm on the phone with Baby, or I'm on some internet website, and I just wave at the police.
Yep.
Like what?
Yeah, that's most definitely one of the moves in there, to hide the phone. You hiding in plain sight, In
plain sight. They not going to believe you will fade them like that.
Yeah, they not going to believe you just sitting there, leg folded up, just in the right angle where it hide the phone, but they can see you at the same time.
You better do
yeah.
And then you wave at them. You like everybody straight. They'll nod back at you. What's up? You good? Yeah, I'm straight.
Yeah.
Moving, you know what I mean?
Yeah, and I used to tell, I told them, I was telling them about the time when I gave, I don't want to say her name, we call her KP.
Okay.
When I gave KP the number and didn't tell you, and then we sitting there, and I remember you telling me, you gonna take all them charges if you was in there. And I tell the people all the time, like, he can say that all he want. If them folks ever ran in here, he was gonna take them charges.
We'd have been standing there looking at each other. I'm like, well, what you gonna do?
We would have had to fight them at the D board, because I'd have never said they were mine.
You better know it. At the end, I don't think I would have let you fall, but boy, I'd have been sure trying to get you to take that charge. You did it on your own free will, right?
Yeah.
But I'm gonna ask you this. Do you remember this? I bet you don't remember this. remember one time we got shook down, right? And I had the phones under the bed in the bag. Had the 2 phones under the bed in the bag. And you was downstairs, right? You was sitting, matter of fact, you was sitting on the stairwell with one of your guys kicking it.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting up there in front of the cell, outside the cell, while they in the cell, right?
Yeah.
So you come over there, and right then the police had picked up the bag. Listen to
I remember that.
The police picked up the bag. He had the phones in his hand, and he looked at it, and he put it right back down and slid it back under the bed. And you looked at me, and I said, "Are we straight now?" And they stayed in the cell for another 30, 40 minutes.
Yeah.
He had him in his hand.
Yeah. I remember that. I remember that. Yeah, he just kind of picked up the bag and moved around. That was one of them moments where ain't no way he tried to hide this with this. I would have,
Exactly.
Yeah, because I think you had folded it up in the sock though.
Yeah,
you had folded it up in the sock. Yeah.
All he had to do was open it. All he had to do was open it. And it was over with.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, I think it was 2 of them in there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
it
would have been over with then.
And I tell people, because they talk about our relationship, and I always say, we was only able to get to the place we are now really by having, some tough conversations. And I feel like people, when it comes to having tough conversations, you got to be emotionally mature. You got to be able to, you got to be at a place of where you can handle the truth and then not cause more division that it's already caused. Because I feel like anytime you discussing the past, you have to remember that we are discussing the past. It ain't.
Right.
You can't be in a place of bringing the past in the present and it affecting, the future.
Some people like to weaponize the past. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And try to hurt you with it.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that for me, we got on the level that we're on because we experienced some things together briefly.
Mm-hmm.
Even though that I want people to really understand this. Even though the majority of the things that we experienced together were negative, I was able to see you in a different light.
Mm-hmm.
You feel what I'm saying? I'm looking at you, it's like, this is my son, this is my child.
Right.
And even though I was doing and showing you some things that were wrong in front of you, it was like I still got to learn things about you that I had never got to learn before.
Right.
And there was those times when we did have those blow-ups and we were saying things towards each other that it forced us to have to really just sit down and look at each other and say, what is this, man?
Right.
You feel what I'm saying?
Right.
What is this? You know what I'm saying? You my son, I'm your father, and I'll never forget when you told me that you want me to say things to you.
Exactly.
You feel what I'm saying?
Right.
You need me to be your father.
Right.
And that freed me.
Right.
You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah, I remember that. I remember that.
I didn't think I deserved it. I didn't think I deserved it.
I remember that.
I
remember that. I think most people, especially when it comes to internal, when you have to get to that place where you're being transparent and vulnerable, I think the first human reaction for most people is to go in flight mode. Like I'd rather go ahead and just run from this and not deal with it versus just, dealing with it head on. And most people, y'all got to say what y'all want to say about people who've been locked up in their prison. Let me tell you something. When you're in a place of where you want to grow, one thing about their prison is you have to deal with it. You can't go nowhere. So when you sitting so when we sitting in this cell together, locked down, because we done been through lockdowns together, weeks at a time.
Yeah.
So the conversations that we able to have in that time you have to sit there. People can argue and just say, you know what, forget it. I'm going to go on about my business. You can get in the car and go wherever you want to go and not have to talk to this person for weeks. You can't do that in those cells.
Yeah.
But that's more so of a privilege than it is a consequence when you talking about being incarcerated. Because if it's somebody you love and it's somebody that you care about, you can hash that out. Me growing up, before guns and all of that stuff got involved, people felt like if we had a disagreement with my homeboys and this and that, we can fight it out and we're gonna get right back cool. Like we dealt with that and we're gonna keep it pushing versus we got to fight and forget that person. We ain't cool no more and just forget everything we had before the fight or the disagreement. It's no way you can live a life without disagreeing with somebody, having different points of views. It's just impossible to do that. And I think we're in a generation. Yeah, we're in a generation now where people are they got this this button where it's just like, you know what, forget that, I'm gone. And it's just said and done like that. So, you know, I'm grateful for, you know, them tough moments and sitting in that cell like that.
Yeah. The thing about what stands out to me, especially while you were saying what you're saying, is that I could tell you were curious about me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Of course.
Whatever you thought you knew about me, whatever you heard about it, you were curious about me. You would always ask me questions. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, what is this coming from?
I didn't know nothing.
Yeah, but see, I'm not, and keep in mind, I'm your daddy, but I hadn't been your father. You feel what I'm saying? So I don't really know, other than, well, I remember Granny and Grandmama and them, the way they conducted their household, I don't really know as much because the time that I was out there on the streets in the Marine Corps with my trades, that was short-lived too. You feel me?
Right.
So I only know what I know up to that point of being a parent. You feel me? So when you ask me all of these questions, I'm answering. I'm like, dang, okay. Did I say the right thing? Did I do the right thing? And I'm always having my uncle or somebody saying, don't tell that boy this. Don't tell that boy that.
Yeah.
You don't need to be doing that with that boy. You don't need to be doing this with this. Well, that's all I know.
Right.
That's all I know.
Right.
And it was your curiosity, man, that really made me like, I'm just gonna tell him. What's the point? If I don't tell him, he's right here with me anyway. And like you said, when we were in that cell, man, together, you can only have them superficial conversations for so long. You feel me?
Yeah.
Sometimes it get deep, man.
Yeah.
And you don't have that out there. Right now, what's going on out there? People don't have the benefit of having deep conversation. They get up and they leave, or they get on their phones.
Right.
They go and do what they do. They don't confront the issues, like you said, not understanding that this is going to help.
This is the help.
It's going to be bumpy.
Right.
It's going to be rough, but it's going to help.
Even in, because, you know, I've heard bits and pieces of my mama's side. I ain't never got to hear your side. So I was even curious about your relationship with my mama. Like, how y'all met. I didn't know none of this. Like, you know, what y'all used to do. Like, first kiss. Like, you know, as a kid, because even though I'm 25, 26 at the time, those are still things I feel any kid want to know, regardless of how they feel, or didn't say, or this is my daddy. Like, that's my mama. Like, I want, like, the history of that. I feel like,
you want to know.
Yeah, that's a love story to a kid. You know what I'm saying? Regardless of anything. You know what I'm saying? So even getting to hear.
I'm gonna tell you something else that was amazing to me about you that you said to me that let me know that you wanted to know any and everything. When I heard you say, "What was my grandmama like?"
Yeah, man. Yeah.
I'm a mama's boy. And you know, mama passed away when I was a kid. But when you said, "What was my grandmama like?" It was like you know what I'm saying, that you got a grandmama, which is my mama, and you wanted to know about it. And the only way you can learn about it, you wanted to know what I thought.
Right.
I'm like, dang.
Right.
Yeah, that was amazing.
And see, I'm gonna tell you something on that end right there. Because now I'm getting to, you know, I've been around Uncle Squeaker, Uncle Steve, you know, Auntie. I don't feel like nobody can help me tap more into my identity and my makeup of who I am more than you. I don't feel like nobody could help me, you know, understand or receive the information the way I would receive it from you. So when you describing things about my granny, you know what I'm saying, I'm taking that as, you know, parts of my personality, just learning it from you. You know what I'm saying? They come from my granny. Like, it's just certain things. And then not only that, you know, it's just good to hear, you know, how was your relationship, you know what I'm saying, with granny? Did you have a granny? Because, you know, this is a part of getting to know my daddy. Like, because some people don't realize, like, a lot of people are a reflection of their people and how they were raised. You know, was my granny affectionate? You know what I'm saying? Is that where, because I feel like you were affectionate. I feel like you was affectionate. I feel like you were nurturing. I feel like, so where is this makeup coming from? Because on my mama's side, I don't feel like, far as my mama's side, you know, y'all know I'm a straight shooter. My mama not affectionate. So me growing up with any form of affection, I don't know where it come from. You know what I'm saying? So being able to learn it, you know, hands-on and hear, even when I ask questions about granddaddy and stuff like that, you know what I'm saying? These things are part of my makeup, and I feel like it's too many grown people who out here still soul searching. You find yourself dibbling and dabbling and searching for love in all the wrong places, and it's really just your inner child trying to connect with who you're connected to biologically. And you don't know or understand things about yourself because, just like they say, you can't understand. You got to know your future to know your past to know where your present and where you're headed. It's the same thing when it comes to your people. When it comes to trauma, because trauma can pass on genetically. It does not have to be an experience. It could be in your bloodline. I had never met my pops and sit in the cell and watched. Genetically, just in my blood, me and him operate, and body movement is the exact same way. Mindset.
It was amazing. You remember that time when I got up and I had to use the restroom and you were laying in the bed and you were rocking your feet the way you rock your feet? And I just stood there watching you, because I do that. And then one day, you remember this, we were walking in the pod, right? And it was such like unspoken, and both of us the same way, walking the same way with one arm behind our back and the other one hanging down our side. And there was somebody that was watching us said, look at y'all. And I didn't even realize it. Then I looked at you, I'm like, dang.
Get what?
Okay. You know what I mean?
Get what, did it? Samaria, rock her feet.
Wow.
Yeah. But see, is what I'm saying. Going back to, it's hard for you to even change and fix things because people don't understand how powerful genetics can be. Genetics can pave your path, your journey, and you not even realizing you caught up in this cycle. Sometimes you don't get to know your history and your people. You can't correct certain behaviors and mindsets because you can't connect to where they're coming from. So
you get to it now.
So like it's certain things. Love my pops to death. Love y'all know I'm straight shooter. Love my mom to death. But it's certain things I was able to be like, okay, in order to change and turn that. Now that I have to change this and change that. This is where it come from. This is why. This is why.
You know where it came from.
Yeah, this is why I struggle with being affectionate, and this is why I can be like I can, because of my biological makeup. You know what I'm saying? Just in me. Like I sit around and ask plenty of questions. Why this and why that? And it took for me to have to sit in the sand. So I'm grateful for that experience. But go ahead.
Yeah, but it's like you said about understanding your biological makeup. By you understanding the things that you got from me, the things that you got from your moms, right? You understand how to pivot when it comes to, okay, this was beneficial, this was not.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And you hit on it when you said that's part of why a lot of people are not able to correct their behavior. They don't get in tune with their family members. They cut them off. They have an argument with them about something that went on, and then they don't want to talk no more.
Right.
You feel what I'm saying?
Right.
Now keep in mind, let me say this though. There are some times, man, where you have so much toxicity in a relationship, in a family relationship, where you got to take a break.
Right.
You feel what I'm saying? Because it's not healthy for you.
True.
You know what I mean? Yeah, it has to be. That's just a reality of life. You feel me? Because they might be on a path that is still full of a lot of trauma and pain, and they ain't no benefit to you.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right. It may not never be what you want it to be. You just take the lesson.
Yeah. That's right. You take the lesson and you keep it moving, man. But you hit on it, man. You gotta know, your past and who you come from and what they were like, so you can understand where you get those traits from, where you get those behaviors from, so that things that you need to correct. You know why you like that, and you can correct those things.
Right.
You can't correct it if you don't know why it came to be.
Right.
You feel what I'm saying? You don't understand that because it's kind of like it'll paralyze you. I don't know where this came.
You have 1 minute remaining.
Or they'll say that's just me. No, you understand where it came from, then you can understand that it can be fixed. It can be changed, rather. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah.
But y'all heard that time, man. I hate to hear that. You know what I'm saying? If y'all ain't already tuned in to Doing Time with Joe, man, y'all go check out the podcast. And if you want to see this, it's already too late. This full episode, this gonna end up on my daddy page. I wish I would have said it in the middle. But Pops, you got something you want to say real quick? You can call it back.
Man, look, like I always say real fast, man, I love all of them out there, man, that support the cause, man, especially those that support you, man, and what you're doing. I'm extremely proud of you, man, and I love you always, man.
Same way. You finna call back?
Yeah, I'm gonna hit you right back.
All right, look. Man, y'all heard it from, the horse's mouth itself, man. Hey. That was a heavy conversation right there, man. Y'all want to support the kid, go, just go hit that little button, it's just a little red button that says subscribe on it, That's really all it is, Then from there, you go hit the play button, and you just watch the videos. You know what I'm saying? It's the kid.